So hello class. Before we start our lesson for today, let us pray first. So Mr. Bildad, kindly lead the prayer. Okay, amen. Thank you Mr. Bildad for leading the prayer. So allow me to check your attendance first. Okay, everyone's complete. So good evening everyone. I am James Kere Rago, one of your teachers for today. And today's lesson we will going to discuss about the good characteristics of instructional materials and technology tools, their definition and examples. So first, let me ask first, what is the role of educational technology in teaching and learning? So educational technology is very important because it helps the teachers provide instructional materials for their lessons, and it helps the teachers connect to the students while they were apart or remotely in another area. So the teacher can also reach them. So in learning, um, the students can learn different ways in acquiring information, for example in the YouTube and the Google. So there were many sources of information. So technology is very important in um, teaching and learning. So first, I will going to discuss the technology tools. So technology tools provides the numerous tools that teachers can use and out of the classroom. So it enhances the students' learning and provides the introduction of some of the most common uh, tools in the classroom. So the most common technology tools was the first, presentation of software. So sometimes it helps to provide visual aids to complement teaching, stimulates discussion, or allow out of class teaching. So from the word presentation software, so it involves the presentation, the graphics, the design of the presentation, and how the students learn. It varies because in the presentation it will going to catch up the attention of the students, so that uh, through your presentation you can encourage them to learn, and you can encourage them to listen carefully. So one of the example of presentation software is to create PowerPoint presentation in artistic ways, or if you want more designs you can use Canva. So that helps the students the students to focus in the lesson and gain more interest. So the second one is the online projects and collaboration tools. So from the word collaboration tools, so it involves collaboration within the group of students. So um, group of students collaborate with each other with a certain task to perform, no? And then it helps um, the group of students to gain knowledge in a certain task, and to improve their skills individually and as a team. So it can one of the advantage of that online tools is the students learn to socialize, think and collaborate with each other in the classroom, or um, in the other area of where the discussion were taking place. So the next one is the information visualization tools. So technology can also clarify, stimulate through transforming words into pictures. So helping students to visualize the information that they were receiving. So it also helps develop their critical thinking skills also, and it can help them analyze, view, or manipulate the information that they acquire on how they will going to use it. So one of the example in information visualization tools is the Google Charts, where you can graph all the information that you acquire. Then Another one is the infographics, where you can put pictures with the information that is very needed to a certain course or a certain lesson. So let's proceed to another tools, which is flipping the classroom. So how we can make the best use of the classroom time with our students. So flipping the classroom involves the learning not just limited in the classroom, but also we can learn students can learn also in various ways, even if they are not in the classroom. So these tools helps the students build connections with others, and they were working together, no? Like the collaborations. So flipping the classroom, for example, the teachers talks about a certain topic in the course, and then they give them the assignments for them to answer and explore more to the subjects, and explore the explore and gain more learning, more informations, to the help of peers, the internet. So flipping the classroom, for example, not just involving in lecture, but also they were engaged in the lesson itself, enable them to learn. So more an experimentation, like you are scheduled in the laboratory. So you will going to conduct the experiment. The teacher will be the teacher will supervise the students, so that they can he or she can assist them properly. So the learning comes in that way. So the next one is podcast. So podcast is a tool used by the teachers in um, learning and teaching new languages. So it is also an alternative way of teaching, which can help the students learn through listening in any informative audio recordings. So it improves the listening skills of the students, so that the information being discussed will easily be absorbed, or easily be understood by the students. So podcasting allows you to um, give information through audio. And the next one is teaching with tablets. We're only beginning to explore their many possibilities for higher education. So emerging as a powerful learning tool in higher education, and a unique function to the tablets and computers, which allows the teachers make their um, presentations, or create their lecture materials for the class, and using digital format. It is one of the easiest way to um, create your lectures in online. So there were no handwriting and etc. So you only use the tablets and computers as your tool to communicate, to teach the students. So um, teaching with tablet and computers is have a great impact, because it could be distributed by the students through online. It can be through the help of these devices. You can access information in the internet, and information with regardings with the course that you are taking. So teaching with tablets and computers makes the work of the teacher more convenient. So the last one is converting face-to-face course to an online course. So teaching online, whether in a hybrid course or wholly online course, so it requires different techniques, different tools. So the online environment requires the use of basic technologies to digitize course materials as well as the mastery of the university's learning management system. So we can say that the best example for that is our situation right now. We are in the pandemic, so but we need to go to school, so we take online classes. So instead of going to school at interact physically, so we use different apps to support the teachers use different apps to support their teaching. For example, we use Google Meets. So Google Meets, we use Zoom, Microsoft Teams. Uh, it is where the discussion is conducted by the teachers. So one of the example for that also is our Google Classroom, where the teachers post the different activities, different modules. We are allowed to visit or to read the modules and answer the quiz that they are posted. So right now we are experiencing the converting a face-to-face course to an online course. So to continue our discussion, I am going to introduce you teacher Mark Ponce to discuss about the characteristics of a good instructional materials.
Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to my virtual class. By the way, my name is Mark Nunez Ponce, one of the subject teacher in TLE, and I will continue the discussion of Mr. Rago. Since Mr. Rago already discussed about the technology tools in educational learning, let me go ahead and continue the characteristic of a good instructional materials. Okay? And I just wanted to inform you that this would help for all the teachers, especially you guys, since you are a future educator, and it will help you to facilitate the learning process. Okay? So first characteristic of a good instructional materials is the size. Okay? So it must that the material is big enough to be seen by the farthest students in the classroom, and also you have to consider the font size as well as the font style to be used. Okay, next is the color. So students are more interested to those materials which are colorful and beautiful. Okay, you have to remember that mostly students are more attracted to bright colors because it is easily catch the students' attention and also to facilitate the learning process. Okay? And the third one is the durability. Instructional materials are not made for one session only. Okay? This must last if possible until lifetime so that it can be reused. Okay, because there are upcoming first year students, for example first year college students. In the future you can still use the instructional materials or a presentation. Okay, you don't need to make another one. That's one of the technique in the teaching, guys. Okay, and yeah, you have to see to it that it can stand for longer duration of time so that the effort and money you render, it will not lost in just one glimpse or snap. Okay, and next characteristic of a good instructional material is the economy. You have to consider also the salary your salary, his expenses in making the instructional materials, and you can actually use a resourcefulness and creativity to produce your own material. If possible, you can use the cheaper things and managing your material so that it not burden on your part. So since nowadays we are using virtual classes already, so there are a lot of apps that we can use, like Canva, the WPS. You can use that apps in creating a presentation. So the economy that I mentioned a while ago, that will only apply in face-to-face class. Since we are in a virtual class, so yeah, there are a lot of apps that we can use, right? There you go. Next, it's portability. So our materials must be easy to handle and carry so that it's more convenient for your part to carry it wherever you will teach. Imagine if you are reteaching in fourth floor and your instructional material is too heavy and big, it is not convenient for you to have it. Okay? So again, this will apply in face-to-face class, and we are in virtual class nowadays. So apps will help you to create good instructional materials. Okay? And the next is the relativity. Of course, it must be related to the topic or lesson you are into. Okay? Remember, the teacher uses instructional materials to ease the burden of teaching, and so that student, you will understand the subject better. Okay? There you go. Next is the uniqueness. Students wants to have things which makes them curious about it. Okay? You have to manipulate the material to evaluate. Okay? Make it unique. Make it catchy. Okay? Because once it's catchy, class, students are participative. Okay? They will really participate in your class discussion, and your class discussion is not boring. Okay? That's one of the goal in discussion. Students will learn right after the discussion. Okay? And yes, do you have questions about the topics? Or do you have questions about the characteristic of a good instructional materials? Okay. Alrighty. Alright, since you didn't have questions, class, let me go ahead and ask you a question. So, since you know already the characteristic of an instructional materials, what is the importance of instructional materials to students' learning process, and how would you take good care of this learning material? Anyone? Yeah, Mr. Verano. Question is, what is the importance of instructional materials to students' learning process, and how would you take good care of this learning material? There you go. Alrighty. Yeah, as what I've mentioned a while ago, that the visual aids or your presentation will help students to learn and to understand the topic better. Okay? There you go. Alright. And yeah, I'm gonna play, that's gonna be a video, and since I have problem with my connection right now, I cannot play it here in the Google Classroom, I mean in the Google Meet. So I'm gonna send this one to the Google Classroom. Okay, you can watch this 3 minutes YouTube clip entitled 4 Design Tips in Building Better Learning Materials. Okay, it will help you to understand or to know more techniques on how to create a good instructional materials. Okay? There you go. And yeah, this video that I'm going to share to you, as what I've said, this is all about the techniques on how to create an instructional materials. Okay? Do you have other questions about the topics or the video? Okay. Okay. Perfect. Since you don't have question, let me go ahead and inform you that together with the video I'm gonna send you, that's gonna be a Google form. That's a short quiz about the discussion that I made. Yeah, the discussion that about the discussion of Mr. Rago and also me about the technology tools in education learning as well as the characteristic of a good instructional materials. Okay? Be mindful, class, about the time. Because when you click the Google form, there will be a minutes. Okay? There will be a time to finish your Google form. So you will be given 10 minutes because that's only a short quiz. Okay? Do you have any questions about the quiz? Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, for your assignment. All right. Yeah. Question, Miss Rosemary. All right. Yes, Miss Rosemary. I'm gonna send the Google form to the Google Classroom. Okay, together with the video clip. Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for clarifying, Miss Rosemary. And yeah, for the assignment, you really need to make a creative instructional materials. You have to choose the topic that you want, that it should be related to the subject. Okay? Again, you have to create a creative instructional materials, and you have to choose the topic that you want, and it should be related to our subject. Okay? Any questions with our assignment? Perfect. All right. By the way, thank you so much, class, for attending our class discussion today, and stay safe and goodbye for now. Okay? You can now leave the class.